Welcome to the Ascend Your Success podcast. Whether you're just starting out or are a veteran looking to grow your business, you're in the right place. Join us to learn how to achieve financial freedom while working and living life on your own terms. Hear valuable insights, strategies, and interviews with successful entrepreneurs. Get ready to achieve the success you've always dreamed of. Ready? Let's go.
What's going on, guys? My name is Wyatt Reed, and this is the Ascend Your Success podcast. And today, I get to interview my friend Lucas Skylar Scott, and we're going to take a little bit of a turn from real estate because he's got a videography studio. I'm terrible at introductions. He makes your dreams come true. Let's just say that.
Make all of your dreams come true. By the time we're done, you'll have thick, curly locks of hair and a cool branded vest.
And you'll say in your slogan behind you.
That's right. Yeah, they'll be chanting it in every room. All right, so first step to success, people, you've got to properly medicate. So I'll have a little nicotine. I'm going to look back on this in like 20 years like, idiot, you were supposed to quit. What happened? So I'll introduce myself briefly. My name is Lucas Skylar Scott. Here, I'm going to spike the lens. My name is Lucas Skylar Scott. What's up to all of you beautiful people out there? And we do video production. We've got a local home studio here in Huntsville, Alabama, where we serve clients and create studio content. We also do on-location productions, like everything really video production related, from events and weddings to corporate videos, commercials, and even like productions for narrative production. You want to shoot a short film or something like that, we're involved in that sort of thing. Lots of fun. I've been doing it for years. I love it. And we try to work with any budget. We get it, right? It's a range. Some people have a $10,000 budget. Some people are like, what can you do with $500? And we just try to find a way to help people achieve what it is they're wanting to achieve. For most businesses, most solopreneurs and small brands, ultimately the objective is, how can we get you in the best way possible, saying the right things in front of as many people as possible? Yeah. And so that can be accomplished a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I tell my students all the time, it's like, people that teach real estate, now I'm going to take this back to real estate for just a second, but people that teach real estate have a lot of fluff in what they teach, right? And so like for me, I teach my guys to immediately start looking for deals, leads, get in the business, do the business, but as you get the deals and you start bringing in money, long-term branding is the way to, people got to know what you do, right? It's so important. Like right up front, the logos, the websites, all that stuff's not as important as bringing money into your business first and foremost. But like for you to be successful long-term, you have to have a brand that people recognize, they know, and you guys help tell a story so well. You guys done the video for my last big event, like last year or the year before last. It was almost 2 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It was awesome, man. This guy had me on the fence. I'm like, wait a second, why am I making videos? I'm pretty sure I should be selling real estate, doing deals. Like, this is insane. Some of these numbers are just like out of this world.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
But I do see that. I see that out there, and just like because there's like entrepreneurs and stuff. That's like I imagine a lot of your audience. As much as like I am drawn to huge sums of money, and I am, let me just be very clear about that. I also am like, how can I, and you can do both. You can totally do both. I happen to be incredibly stubborn, and I look at the world in incredibly polarized light. It's you're either doing this or you're doing that, which is probably not great, but it's helped me to be like, okay, how can I do it with video? How can I do it with video? Like stay in your lane, do what you love and make it with video, Lucas, which has been challenging in a lot of ways. So who knows, maybe next year or at some point this year, you'll see me out there hustling, selling houses or trying to learn something from the master over here.
Well, so let's take it back to the beginning, right? You and your brother have both done multiple businesses, and this is what you've landed on. I'm sure this is what you're most passionate about, but kind of tell us what that looked like coming up and taking that risk of getting into business, because so many people are so scared to do their own thing. And then too often we see them do their own thing and then work themselves to death, right? So what did that look like for you guys coming up?
So my family, we did the thick and thin thing, like rags to riches to rags to riches to rags to riches. It just seems like that's what we were good at, I guess. Maybe it's just because that's how we were brought up, where we had nothing when I was a child, very, very, very much nothing. And then we had plenty. You know, my mother started a business. I have 5 siblings, so and single mom. You know, dad left. Dad, come on, man. We've since rekindled and like reconnected and rebuilt on that. But like when I was a kid, I mean, he was gone, and so it was just mom. And here she is building this business, building a maid service, finding a way to support the family. And so I was around that like entrepreneurial, like make if you want to do a thing, you just start going towards it for my entire life. Even my father, like when he was there, which was like, there were times when he was there, but he was also absent. The daddy issues run deep with Lucas. But like even when he was there, he was also out there as a creative. He was doing video production. He was doing animation professionally, making money doing that. So I was just kind of always around it. And even as I got older, like the first things that I did was I was out doing flyers for the cleaning company. This is up in New York. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. So, you've got a cleaning company in New York. You've got, 6 kids running around. We've got to do some advertising and budget's tight. So, okay, guys, here we go. Take a stack of flyers and go out there and you're handing out flyers. And you're just trying to create that visibility. And it's like, it's one of those things that's kind of it can be hard to measure. Like you understand, like with mailers, right? It can be hard to measure. It's like, okay, I'm going to like get this in front of a bunch of people. How many times does this need to get in front of somebody? This meaning like the brand or the messaging or whatever the offer before they're ready to pull the trigger on it and make a deal. And it's not just like, oh, it's a certain amount of times, but at the same time that's happening where that's building trust, you also have to okay, it's 7 to 12 times to build trust with a brand or whatever, right? You have to see it 7 to 12 times. Well, they also have to see it at the right moment. Right, that's also true. So it's not just like, okay, I got in front of somebody 12 times, now we got a deal. That's not the case. You got to get in front of someone 12 times for them to have trust in the brand, and then you have to keep staying in front of them because when that little moment happens, whatever it is, they get a phone call, there's pressure, got to do a thing, got to make a move, whatever it is, you also have to be visible right then. And so, I guess all that to say, we were doing flyers. We were part of the business. I didn't do too much scrubbing toilets, but, I did a lot of phone sales, taking inbound calls and calling on people. And so I've been around it, and my siblings have been around small business our entire life. And then I did spend about 7 years in the corporate structure working at a bank, doing that thing. And that was great. The money was it felt very stable. I didn't really realize how stable it felt until I left the bank. And I was like, I'm going to start a business, which is something everyone's like, I'm going to start a business. And most people don't start a business, build themselves a job, which is very different. And it's complicated. I get it. But that's what it winds up being. Like, even for myself, all right, I've got a business, sort of. I've got the branding and the foundation. I've got all the components and lots of infrastructure laid out. But really, if I'm not doing the work, if I'm not selling and I'm not fulfilling, it's nothing getting done.
Right.
And so really, I have a job that I've built for myself, which is I'm okay. I've come to terms with it. What would it take to change that? I'd need systems and processes in place and training and personnel and all of those things.
I think
so. That's kind of the background. I've been doing it for about 8 years now for Schuyler Scott Studios.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people get to. I mean, it's the same for me too. We're taught, especially if we hire mentors and stuff like that, we're taught how to do the business, but we don't know how to run a business, really. We're taught how to do deals, but we're not taught how to run a business. Nobody told us about the IRS, the Department of Revenue, the Secretary of State, all that stuff, the taxes and everything. But we're taught how to do a deal, right? And so I think that's where people struggle, and not just in real estate, in any business. You see, this is why you see a bunch of contractors that, and if you're a contractor listening, I'm sorry, but you see a bunch of contractors that suck. A lot of people complain about contractors, right? It's because somebody that knows how to work their butt off decided, well, I'm going to do this for myself, and they know how to work hard, but they don't know how to build the business. So it's they're constantly chasing their tail, and they're constantly just, like you said, just doing the job and probably getting paid less because, they got to pay their own people now.
Not just that, but you wind up working all the time. At the bank, it was I mean, I did a little bit, you know. When I rose the ranks enough, I went to a salary position, and that's how they get you.
Well, you
Don't do
don't go
it.
salary.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't go salary enough, because then you're doing extra hours, and so he's like, no, no, it's gonna be, you know, it caps at whatever, but like it doesn't actually. But you know, as running a business, you wind up working a lot of hours all the time, sort of really, because I mean, you don't have to, but look, if I've got an inquiry about a video production, I know that if someone's reaching out right now because they want to do a video, that's it. They're going to call me. And if I don't pick up and connect with them fast, like immediately, ideally, but like within an hour at least, they've already made another call. And so it's kind of first to the move, really. I need to get a quote put together, I need to pitch, I need to explain how that's going to go, all of those things. So you know, you're kind of working all the time. And when I'm not doing that, I'm like ideally analyzing the business to try to understand where I can be more efficient and more effective. I mean, what it would really take to make it a business, and this is, I think, true across all business industries, I would need a system in place to hire and train people to do the job, not just the job, like the whole job, but like kind of compartmentalize the business down into, okay, this is this piece, these are the components, these are the tools, this is the software, this is how it works, this is what it's going to look like, this is what you've got to do. Okay, now go do it. And then also have the time to be there for them. This has been the challenge, because I've done that piece before and brought people on, and then you also you have to make time, which means you have to have money to float, because you're not going to be selling when you're training somebody. You're not going to be delivering projects when you're training somebody. You have to have time and make time to say, okay, look, like this, okay, yeah, I see what you did there. I understand. Like, let's talk about where your mind's at. Okay, like let's talk about how we can make this better. So this is how it needs to be done. Okay, or is this connecting for you? And there's a lot of that that happens, and it can be I mean, this is part of why it's like my cat's trying to escape. Go, just run for your life, cat.
You gotta
I've broken the veil, the blue
look
veil.
closer to Mozzie
That's
back
it.
there. The little
No,
running the show.
what happened? I thought it was a studio. It's just an office somewhere with a blue curtain. You know, so
What?
yeah, you know, it's just a thing, which is why retention's so important for businesses. You hear businesses and like they'll spend so much money trying to, and that now a lot of businesses just outsource. Like it's so much cheaper just to like have somebody outside of the company, because if it doesn't go well, like it's not your problem. You've outsourced it. They've got more people in line, and they deal with the training. So
Yeah, it's tough.
but it's hard.
It's tough
So
too with
yeah.
like us being business owners as well to know how to train somebody, because like we were never trained. We were just trained by fire, right? And so now we've got this responsibility of properly training this little baby bird, right? And like I done a poor job on my first two employees. Like I just said, hey, here you go, let's do it. And you've got to really pour into your people. You got to create a good environment for them, especially if they're in the office, they're in person. You're not, doing what you just said and outsourcing, which is also good. I like to outsource because I'm lazy, man. Like I don't want to train. I don't want to have people. I just want to do what I need to do. And you're responsible for this.
And also it's like important to recognize as a business owner or entrepreneur, like I know we think that we're good at everything, but hopefully soon, if you haven't already come to this realization, we're not. You're good at a lot of things, you're good at lots of things, but there are lots of things you're not good at. And so like recognizing that and just, understanding it and accepting it is really important. And like we were trained by fire, right? Like, so for the longest time, I had to just be like, okay, it's like JFFIO, right? That's like my favorite acronym. Which is this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I use profanity? Yeah, it's just fucking figure it out. Just fucking figure it out, right? And like as much as that maybe like hurts, maybe I guess like it's not about you. Like to the person I'm working with, like this is not about you. This is about I don't have the answer. And like I'm willing to like stand with you and like hold your hand and like go through the process of learning it and figuring it out. And some stuff I know, sure, but some stuff is just like, we don't have a process for that. I need you
Let's
to
work.
write that down. Let's make it right now. Part of your job is also to write the process. Okay, so document this as we go, which is really hard for somebody who wants a job and doesn't want to run a business necessarily. I'm like they maybe think they want to, but then they get into they get in the grit of it, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of unknowns. And you kind of have to start, if you're going to build your own business and run a business and help someone else build a small business, you've kind of got to get comfortable in that space of not knowing it's okay to take a step forward and see what happens. And, hopefully we don't lose a bunch of money on it, right? Like if it's not like a big money issue type situation, then just go for it and we'll figure it out together like after.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I want to go back to something I made a note of when you were talking about your mom starting the business and, you guys didn't have the money, you didn't have, things were tight, you had 5 kids, like that just goes to show, like, man, I know you hear it too all the time, but there are so many people that make such BS excuses why they can't do it now, right? And I'm just like, man, I met some people that have nothing and have given it all for it, and now they're doing amazing things. So you shouldn't have any excuses. That just goes to show, you stop making the excuse.
So much of the, yeah, no, absolutely. And so much of the, like, you want to get ahead of 90% of people out there. Step one, show up. That will immediately show up. You don't know what to do? Get out of get out of the office and go out and get around other people that are doing something that look like they're doing what you think you want to be. It's just showing up and trying. That's really what it is. Because just like you said, I mean, I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, "Oh man, I've got this great idea for a thing. I want to make a video about this dot dot dot." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, great. Like, do you have a treatment, like a script? You have a document with these dates, anything? Have you written any of this down?" It's like, "No, it's all kind of in my head." And I'm like, "Okay." And this is my like litmus test for how serious someone is. I'm like, "Okay, come to me when you have some bullet points or just anything on paper." And most people just disappear and never move it to that point because like there's a lot of psychology behind that also, like just talking about things that you want to do, you get a little bit of dopamine, you feel like, yeah, I'm going towards this, like, yeah, I'm gonna do a podcast, I'm starting a podcast, right? But then nothing happens with it and it's been a year and you haven't done the podcast. What's holding you back? Like, and I had a friend who wants to make videos for her business. She just runs a small business, a baking company. And I'm like, "Okay, great." I'm like, "Sure." Like, she didn't approach me. She was asking another friend about what camera to get. And I was like, and in the question, she was like, "I need a camera, nothing fancy, pretty much the cheapest thing possible." And I said, "Stop. You don't need a camera. You've got a
Yeah,
phone.
exactly.
And if you don't have a phone, someone you know has a phone. That thing is just totally A-OK sufficient for what you're trying. You're trying to create TikToks and Instagrams and whatever. Like, that's perfect for that. Do that thing." And I even offered her, I said, "Look, let me come by. You're baking out of your home. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just trying to help. Let me come by and like I'll like set up my stuff. I'll bring a little tripod and a light, and I'll help you out." And she started hedging. I don't know if I have time, and like I'm like, "Okay, all right." So all of that to say, it's like just stepping forward and saying, "I'm going to do this," and then taking the next step forward and saying, "Now this is what I'm taking one step today. I'm going to take one more step, and then the next day I'm going to take one more step." Already will define you as part of, separate you from 90% or whatever amount of people who talk about it but never do.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree 100%. So we're coming up on time. I did want to bring up a conversation that we had, and I want to get everybody's opinion on it. Me and you talked about coming in and doing a case study from beginning to end on somebody that would come in under coaching, do the onboarding, go through the calls, do everything, the marketing plan, everything like that. I think that would be an amazing multi-part series that we could do together. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, but I want to get everybody's feedback on that because I think that would be very awesome to do.
I mean, it would be powerful if it works, right? So this is all like contingent on, so the idea is like, okay, how can we create real, relatable, almost vlog style content showing the process of somebody who doesn't know anything about real estate at all, zero, okay, going to close it and getting a deal closed, basically like getting some money, putting some money in their pocket. And if we were to do that, like let's say we did it and it took a month or 6 weeks or 2 months or whatever, and we were able to have this like episodic media showing, okay, so today, like hypothetically, like it's me that's I'd be like talking to my phone or camera or whatever. Today, Wyatt said do these things. So it's this time, and like I hit the gym, I had drink my water, and now I'm gonna go do this stuff, and I'll let you know how it goes. Now I'm gonna do it. And like if I have a question, I'm gonna call Wyatt, and and so you have like granular step by step, like, okay, and now we're doing this part of it, and now we're doing this part. And if it works by the end of it, and a deal is closed, and that person who's been like now like gone through that process is able to say, yeah, this worked. That would be insane. I mean, that would just be like a huge testament to your program, to your ability to take someone from zero to success, at least closing that first deal, which is probably the hardest part, is that first deal. Because after that happens, imagine that the paradigm shift occurs. People, it locks in, they understand, and suddenly they're like, okay, so if I do that, all those things again, I can get this again. And if I find a way to scale myself and do that in a more efficient way, then I can build this and make these bigger and make more money.
Yeah.
And then like subsequently being able to say, okay, now I've done that. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to walk you guys through my process doing it myself. And I'm only going to phone a friend if I have to, only if I have to, if I feel like I'm in a pinch. And then like watching that, and who knows, man? I mean, if that, again, if it worked, that would be insane.
We'll be on HGTV pretty soon for sure.
Oh yeah.
Pace will be like, you guys get out of here. We'll be kicking all these guys to the curb, showing them what it's really like to invest in real estate, because HGTV is not what it's really like.
Well, that's the thing, man. People, there's all this like you said, there's all this fluff. There's all this like just hustle. Wake up at 5 a.m. and hustle all day, hustle all night, and it'll work. And there is merit to the laser focused grind, but there's also like the reality of people's lives, and things happen and you have to shift and roll with it, and there's like monotonous experience of having to cold call if that's what it is, or having to door knock if that's what it is, and like what that actually looks like on a, here I am as a human being now doing this activity, here's what time it is, here's how long it took, here's what happened. And that kind of, I think that kind of media really would be really good.
Yeah, I think so too. So if anybody's watching, listen to this, which I hope you would be, I need you to message me and say, hey, you guys need to make a real estate investing TV show or something, or a couple episode series where we can do a case study. We can put it out. We can show people, like, no, it's not easy. Yes, it takes a lot of time, but it's not as hard as you think. It's more simple than it is easy, if that makes sense.
And it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
It's a process. You know what I mean? It's like learning anything, right? You learn the process, you learn the equation, you learn what to apply the formula, and you do that. And then you learn the other 5 formulas, and suddenly you are able to make money, like real money, more money than you thought was possible last year. And now it's this year, and you're like, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. The kind of stuff I've heard, it's kind of insane, honestly, like just insane.
It's
So,
wild, man. It is wild. It's completely life changing, and I just continue to hear. I thought my story was crazy, but I just continue to hear all these other stories of people, and like people are getting younger and doing it, like 19, 20-year-olds. They're like making more money than me in real estate, and I'm like, man, this is insane. There's a just a massive amount of wealth out there for anybody who shows up, and is consistent. That's it.
well, so that's the message. Show up and be consistent.
That's it.
Do it. Like Schuyler says, like Schuyler, do it.
So tell us how we get a hold of you. How can you make videos for us to inspire others to use our companies and tell stories, and if somebody's getting married, it's everything. It's amazing. So how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah. If you are wanting to, capture the moment, if you are wanting to refine your messaging and be in front of more people, if you're wanting to just partner with somebody, if you just want to talk about, ideas you have for marketing your business, you just need a bounce board for somebody to talk to somebody, I'm available. I'm at your service. I love what I do, and I'm happy to do it. You can find me at SchuylerScottStudios.com. You can DM me on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube, Schuyler Scott Studios, everything Schuyler Scott Studios. You can come out and meet me at a BNI meeting. I love BNI. I go to lots of those meetings, so you come out there. Or if you just want to go network at an event or something, you can hit me up. You can call me on my cell phone, 917-545-7745. It's all good. Just hit me up, and we can hang out and party and just vibe, and it'll be fun. I promise you'll have fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being on here. This is probably one of the most entertaining and best episodes I've done so far. So I appreciate that for sure.
You're welcome. Yeah. And thank you for having me on, man. Thanks so much. And we'll see you guys around.
Absolutely. Hey guys, if you heard anything that you just felt like it resonated with you. It's not hard to build a business. I mean, it's not easy to build a business, but it's not hard as well. There are simple systems and processes that you can put in place. Just baby step through that. And we've got the systems and processes. So if you need help, if you want to talk about getting started, then get on ascendyoursuccess.com, fill out a form. I look at every one of them, and I'll call you personally. So whether you're in or you're out, we'll see you on the next one.